What's going on to you, Gemini? So you have the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Nine of Swords, the Hanged Man, Five of Cups, Knight of Swords, Two of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. So for you Geminis, the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles, a lot of you Geminis have been through some very intense situations right around now, where a lot of you Geminis are really starting to understand that you need to work on yourselves. I just see that a lot of you Geminis ultimately, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, a lot of people really don't want to understand you. And it's not necessarily 100% based off of the things that you may have done. Yeah, some of you Geminis may have said some things to some people. You may or may not. I don't necessarily know. But the point is that a lot of people are misconstruing what Gemini actually represents and stands for. And a lot of you Geminis are very misunderstood around this time, as a lot of great people can be, right? People will intentionally not understand you so that they can have a problem with you because they're into the narratives. So they're into the narratives, and they're also into telling themselves lies. So when you have those two things mixed together, you pretty much get a lot of not knowing where the person doesn't know where it begins and ends. But a lot of you Geminis understand that you're very much so changing, right? To put it bluntly, a lot of you Geminis are very much so changing. You're realizing that the relationships that you've had mean something totally different to a lot of you now, in the sense that you realize now that most people are not built to be in a relationship, and that a lot of the times people will lie like they are, or they will act like they're brave and that they're finally ready to get in one. But in actuality, when it's come now time for them to do it, they chicken up. They chicken squat up. And as a result of this, you realize that it's always you holding the stink bag at the end, because you were ready, but they weren't. They weren't even willing to try because they were running away so fast. But let them tell it. They come up with all sorts of reasons. Oh, they can't do this. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. That's the reason why. But then the Hermit, which represents Virgo, so still that Mercury energy, you know why. A lot of you Geminis have an understanding as to why. You know why. You know that a lot of the times they're coming up with an excuse to not really be in a relationship. And then when it goes back to the Eight of Pentacles, right? The Eight of Pentacles is very much so a card, right, that is introverted. But even on this card here in particular, you have a lot of people around, in this particular area. A lot of you Geminis also want to interact with people who are ready to really be in a relationship, and not people who try to act like they are, when in actuality, that's something that they know good and well that they really don't want. So the Nine of Swords now is about, and this is the thing that's, driving some of you Geminis up a wall, ironically, right? Where did I come up with that? But, and it fits perfectly to this analogy, because this is where a lot of you Geminis are like, okay, like, are you ever going to meet anybody? And a lot of you Geminis are thinking a little bit too hard on whether you are meeting someone. And the reason why it is, and I'm saying that, is because instead of you Geminis worrying over that, what I suggest you Geminis do is think about how real a lot of you Geminis are, so much to the point where you are notches above people. You're leagues beyond people, really. And that whatever type of situation you're really you're really in, you're actually really very much so on a much better level or perspective or vantage point than a lot of the people and most people in general, as specifically the people that you've been getting to know. So I think I know a lot of you Geminis are very much so better off than the vast majority of the people that you've been dating, getting to know, that you think. It's just that a lot of you Geminis have the misconception that you're behind in life, when in actuality, a lot of you are really not, in fact. And we're going to get deeper into it. Stick around. The Hangman is about how a lot of you Geminis, so this is called this constant thought of, when are you going to be in a relationship? Are you ever going to really get a chance? Right? Because a lot of you let's face it, a lot of you secretly want to be in love. But you have to understand that you're thinking too much about that, and you're thinking about the wrong things. Instead of you Geminis think about, are you going to be in a relationship ever? Think about, there's a lot of questions that you could be asking yourself that you could answer to yourself. Like, some of the questions are you contributing enough? Are you contributing real value? Or is it that you think that that's what you are, right? You're deluding yourself like that. Or is it that you actually are contributing real value? Do people want you around as you're dating them? When you leave those people because they're dysfunctional, what does their life look like? Do they downgrade in value? Not because of their lives specifically on their own, but do they understand that they lost a valuable individual that was contributing to their life? Questions like that, and understanding, number one, also too, reflecting, I should say, not number one, but reflecting on the fact that a lot of you Geminis are great individuals. A lot of you are great individuals, and how real are you to the point where people can't stand to be around you? Because in today's society, especially when you know that you're a very honest and upstanding individual, a lot of people are not going to be able to rock with you because they're too caught up with running games, wasting time, trolling, trying to get attention, doing this, doing that. And a lot of you Geminis are thinking about the wrong things. The Five of Cups and the Knight of Swords represent, and you're a little bit too caught up on giving the people that try to tear you down way too much compassion and love. A lot of you Geminis need to understand, forget about those individuals in the past that has tried to tear you down. You should not feel sorry. You should not feel bad. This is where I say you got to throw away moralism, because you should not feel sorry, nor should you feel bad for a group of individuals or anyone that you were legitimately trying to get to know, and you were giving them a fair shake, a fair chance, and you were contributing, and these people tried to screw you over. When you left them, you did yourselves a favor. You did yourselves a favor. The Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands now represent, because if you Geminis, and this is the proof, the Two of Wands, if you Geminis would have self-destructed, they would have sat back and watched you self-destruct because of their own dysfunctionality. And then you have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands now represents, so as a result, the Ace of Wands is, you Geminis have to understand that you can't be out here, or it's not best for you Geminis to be out here constantly giving your attention to just anybody. You have to be more aware and focused on the relationship as opposed to self-pity. Because you're going to be thinking about self-pity so much, right? This delusional thought process of you not being great people and being behind and all this other type of stuff, to the point where you're not going to be able to know and see when someone's running game on you. So let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the Ace of Wands. Hermit, Five of Cups, Queen of Swords, Eight of Wands. Right. Forget about the past. People have tried to tear you down. A lot of them are missing you. Forget about the past. Forget it. That stuff should be behind you. Queen of Swords, Eight of Wands, but also right? For the future, don't think that you're anyone less. And don't, when you get yourself into a relationship, don't worry your Gemini heads up about whether you're going to be in a relationship with them.